Yeah, man. These the hills, the weather, man. Thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. We got my man Cleavon over there. Cleavon got some colorful winter gear you got on over there.
What do you mean, Cam? You talking about?
Um, I mean, this has to be the biggest trade, NBA trade of our lifetime. This NBA trade that just happened with San Antonio sending the point guard De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, or San Antonio getting the Spurs, Sacramento sending De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs, and in turn getting um, Zach LaVine. That has to be the biggest trade of our lifetime, doesn't it?
The biggest trade deadline moves for sure. I mean, obviously, when you look back on things, trading.
I mean, De'Aaron Fox. I know how much you like and appreciate his game and respect his game. So now with teaming him up with Wemby, the future. I mean, Cleveland, you can't you have to like that one. I bet all of a sudden now Pop comes out of hibernation. All of a sudden he goes in about another week and a half. We're gonna see Pop back on the sidelines. What you think?
No, Pop is working through his health issues at 80 years old. So when he comes back, he comes back. So, yeah.
Um, Jimmy Butler, breaking news now. Just so happened Jimmy Butler going to the Golden State Warriors. That whole saga is over. What do you think about Jimmy Butler going to the Golden State Warriors?
I think Jimmy Butler going to the Golden State Warriors can get the Warriors into the playoffs quite possibly.
You think that can get them from the playing seat right now into the playoffs?
Well, I mean, into that playoff genre where maybe they can throw some punches and quite possibly get into the actual Western Conference playoffs. But as of right now, they're not in that capacity.
Oh, so you just think he's gonna move them up a few games, a few
Yeah,
notches.
yeah.
Okay, all right. I thought you were talking about they were gonna go from 11 to 6 or something like that. I thought that's what you were talking about. Let me see what is this NBA standing. Jimmy Butler though, after all that huffing and puffing, your boy was doing Pat Riley. He ended up sending them to, I wouldn't say, Golden State number 10. They're in the play-in tournament. They're in the play-in tournament. Can they get? Can they go ahead of the Phoenix Suns? Um, the Mets just sign Pete Alonso to a 4-year deal. Your guy. Um, can they move ahead of Minnesota? They're a game behind Minnesota in the loss column. They're tied with Sacramento, Phoenix, and Golden State for the eighth, ninth, and 10th spot in the West.
I'm sorry, who's tied with Golden State?
Sacramento, Phoenix, and Golden State, the eighth, ninth, uh, and 10th seed in the Western Conference. So you got them moving ahead of Sacramento. Yeah, Sacramento gonna slip. Sacramento gonna
They have a
slip.
better. Well, I mean, Cameron. Obviously, the West is really, really deep. I think Jimmy Butler makes them a candidate to get into the playoffs, but I don't think he gets them out of the first round.
Okay. Are you believing in OKC now?
No.
Still not believing in OKC. Okay. All right. How about Memphis, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference? Are you believing in Memphis? Oh, now you.
No.
Are you ready to believe? Are you buying in Houston what the Houston Rockets are doing yet?
With regards to winning a championship, no.
Fans, that was just a little snippet of our NBA talk beforehand. I can't give it all to you. What I do want to do is get back to the start of the show. This is the biggest trade so far, Cleveland. It's interrupted everything. It's knocked. It's knocked. What has anything knocked the NFL off of front page?
Never.
When have any other event knocked NFL off the front page? And the first topic. But we got to get a little NBA talk in there, and obviously there's more to come if you follow the league. And we got to get your thoughts and feelings on the gift, the stimulus package that the Lakers were just given, and how they just keep continuously come up with some of the top talent, the generation, not only the league in today and this year or last decade, the generational talent just keeps coming through that program, and let's see if they know how to treat this guy who they get. They always seem to overlook and mistreat their guys, but we're going to get to all that. Cleveland, today is February 4th, 325th episode of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're obviously going to talk NFL fans. We're going to talk about the NBA, the NBA hot stove league, if you will. All the trades that's been going down. We got to talk some boxing and get Cleveland's opinion on. I know he likes to talk boxing, but I want to get his opinion on Bivol better BF2. The rematch is right around the corner. I want to get Cleveland's feedback on that. And I know he watched the David Benavidez fight on Saturday night. If not, you missed a good fight, and we're going to talk about that as well. But Cleveland, with today being February 4th, or excuse me, February 5th, when you think about the number 5, who comes to your mind first?
Who comes to mind first is probably Reggie Bush, just because it was just so electrifying at the University of Southern California, Heisman Trophy winner.
That's a good number. Reggie Bush. Yeah, they had a squad there at USC. They have, but not number 5, Jalen Rose.
No. Jalen has had an illustrious career off the court. Did a few things on the court as well. Had a long-standing NBA career. Back-to-back NCAA championship games. So yeah, Jalen certainly rocked the number 5 quite well.
When you think of the number 26, who come your mind first, or who wore that jersey number the best?
That was a tough one, Cam. 26 just wasn't really coming up with anything too substantial. I know Rod Woodson wore it for a minute, but that's not really one of my guys, so I can't really.
I mean, he's a 2-time champion, the best defensive back ever played a game.
He's not that, and he just won the championship just the one time, right? Why give him 2? I don't really understand.
He didn't play against Dallas and you guys. He didn't play against Dallas.
He won a Super Bowl when he moved to safety with the Ravens. He did not win. I don't believe he won any other Super Bowls.
Rod Woodson is still the best defensive back in all the game, and how could you be kind of trying to?
Really not. And who's really on my mind is that other number 26 that plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. His name is Saquon Barkley. We can get to that later.
Ooh. Yeah, he just has a 1.
Yeah, I know you love that dude. I'm not quite sure.
The all 90s team.
Yeah, you drew on him like he's some type of demigod, and he's okay.
He's okay, he says. Cleveland, you want to get back? Do you want to finish our NBA segment, or you want to talk NFL? I'll let you go.
No, let's get back to the NBA segment. That's what's burning white hot right now. I mean, there's only one game left in the NFL. What are we talking about? Yeah, let's get back to the hoop.
Rob Pelinka should be under arrest. Nico Harrison. I feel like calling the cops for Nico Harrison. The way Pelinka just called him in the office and stuck him up, and stuck him up for Luka Doncic. How does this continue to happen to the Lakers? They end up with Kareem. They end up with Magic. They end up with Worthy. They end up with Shaq. They end up with Kobe. Like
LeBron, Anthony Davis,
and now Luka. Like how does this continue to happen?
Well, a couple things going on, Cameron. So first and foremost, let's get to the fact that the original trade was Kawhi Leonard and Zubac for Luka Doncic. Ballmer was unable to part with his franchise player Kawhi Leonard. Still hoping that he would return back to his 2019 form when he won the championship. So first and foremost, I mean that was the first deal that was offered. So secondly, this will cost Nico Harrison his job. I don't think he fully understood the ramifications of how the fans really felt in
Ooh, are they mad? Are they out or what?
Usually when you trade up here, they don't make it like a funeral. And flowers and bring coffins in and cry and
I bet they would set fire to the building if they could. If it wasn't an all brick building, they try to set fire to it.
I'm just hoping that Nico Harrison's address is not published. To his house. But when you really think about this trade, and we've all had a lot of time to think about it, this is not a trade that you make without permission. So it came from the top. I mean, they can say whatever they want, and he can say I was trying to do this or that, but the general manager does not have the autonomy to trade the third fastest player to 2,000 points, 5,000 assists, and 5,000 rebounds, and the other two are Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain. You just can't say like, whatever, we're having problems, we're having issues. I want you to do it this way and you're not, and I'm just going to trade you. So people can say what they want. They can say like, oh my God, how is Nico Harrison doing this? But you cannot make a move like that without their initiation of it and without their approval. So him getting Anthony Davis, and I know a lot of people are poo-pooing on Anthony right now. And, I know over the years I've had my, gripes about him and his durability. We called him Mr. Glass and Fragile on this show for years and years and years. So
in street clothes.
I totally get that. But now he's going back to the 4. And if he is healthy, 40 and 20 is not unrealistic any given night. So you are getting something for Luka.
You would cut it out, Cleveland. Who would you rather have, Luka or Anthony Davis?
So when the trade was made,
who would you rather have?
So when the trade was made, what did I say? I said LeBron and Luka basically do the same thing.
Yeah.
You're giving him all of your rebounding. You're giving him 28 points a game. You're giving him all of your shot blocking. You're giving him all of your interior defense. You're giving up an all-NBA second team player on offense and then probably an all-NBA first team player on defense. So, and you're not replacing it with anything that can help. So from that perspective, right? Because LeBron and Luka basically do the same thing, and you lost all those other things. So in the short term, depending on how LeBron and Luka play together, you're losing more than you're gaining.
Yes, I do.
Long term,
I agree with that. I agree with that.
they absolutely win the deal because they have the superstar in waiting. Probably doesn't have to wait that long. And if he shows flashes of brilliance in LA, come on, man. He will embrace it.
So, as a Laker fan, I know you're not in LA, but you are been a Laker fan for a little while. Even got the gear on. Does this because Anthony Davis was not like a drafted Laker? Didn't grow up there because he wasn't homegrown, so to speak. Is this trade okay? Are you not, or you just seeing all the positives of it just because you're a Laker fan? Which one is it?
I pointed out all of the negatives of the trade, and certainly in the short term, those are all very valid and realistic. So it's not like AD wasn't balling out this year, because he was balling out this year. And again, the trade was not initiated from the Lakers side. It was initiated from the other side. And so if I give you Luka Doncic, I have to get at least Anthony Davis just to start it out. Obviously, you're not going to
stop there. You stop there and one first round pick, Anthony Davis in the pick. That's it.
Max Christie.
But you should have went for the trophies that's hanging up there. Make sure I get some replicas. I want some Laker letterhead. I want some Laker socks. So you should have went for the whole gamut. What are you talking about? Why did we only get one pick in Max Christie? And I'm giving up the younger player, the most dynamic player. What did you say? The third person to score 10,000 points and 5,000 assists,
5,000 rebounds,
5,000
25 or younger. It's only been 3.
And that's what I'm giving up. And I get an old player who's has injury problems at best. Come on, man, he got stuck up. Nico got stuck up for that. I don't know if Pelinka had something on him. Pelinka threatened him. I don't know what the deal is, but Nico got stuck up in that.
Again, Cameron, you're acting as if Rob came to him with this deal, and that's not how it worked. He came to him and said, "Hey, what can I get for Luka? That's what you can get."
Shame on Nico for getting that done. But that's the Lakers get their stimulus package from the NBA. Stern, I know David Stern would have never went for this. I don't know David Stern. So you Lakers who tried something like this with Chris Paul, you get one over on the substitute teacher.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that happened at a time when the commissioner had temporary control over the operations of an NBA franchise. And when the billionaires get to talk amongst themselves, well, that's a completely, totally different thing. You see what kind of things work out.
Yeah, we see some guys get taken advantage of.
The original deal was Kawhi Leonard, Zubac, and 3 first-rounders. So. And that deal was shut down because Kawhi Leonard is untradeable.
What do you fear with Luka? Anything? Any way this blows up in Pelinka's face?
Oh yeah, I mean Luka could be everything that Dallas was saying that he was, and I'm not saying that he wasn't those things, but probably this is a wake-up call for him. To kind of change his ways. Those stories just don't manifest themselves out of nowhere. And again, if you have a talent of that magnitude, I mean, it's the 7th most popular jersey in the whole NBA. You don't just say, "Hey, I don't want this dude anymore. I don't want to give him the Supermax. I don't think he's worth it, and I'm ready to move on." Never ever has it happened.
Right, yeah. He was about to get paid, so they cost him. Not only did they trade him and make him move, uproot his family, but they cost him $100 million. That's wild. This has to be the biggest trade since PG went to the Clippers And with that 2018-19, nobody expected that to happen. PJ was he was just traded. Paul George was. Or do you have a different one?
The only one, I mean, this is so different because neither one of the players demanded a trade or were unhappy in any way. So I guess the Paul George from that perspective would have to be probably, I don't want to say the second biggest, but, top five. Obviously, when you trade Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that's the biggest trade in the history of the league. So.
But he asked for the trade. So,
but he asked for it. Again, a request. So yeah, that makes the dynamics a little bit different. This was just completely out of the blue for everybody. So imagine how disgruntled ownership must have been with Luka to even entertain such a thing. If it was on Mark Cuban's watch, it would have happened.
Now, do you think Luka has a chip on his shoulder coming to LA?
I hope so.
What about from the Dallas standpoint? You're saying you're trying to clarify, and you have a few times, so it doesn't look like Pelinka stuck up Nico Harrison.
Oh no, he probably could have got a few more assets if he would have been, dug his foot in the sand, so to speak. But
if he did some negotiating, you could just say some negotiating. Anyway, but Nico focusing on, clearly he was focused on Anthony Davis because he didn't go out there and shop Luka, which was another dumb thing not to do. Does Anthony Davis make a difference? What did you say?
So there were ramifications of trying to shop him. That's when everyone else gets involved. This had to be completely,
That's what I'm saying. So he had to be he had to zero in on Anthony Davis versus shopping him, because he probably could have got more, at least 2 or 3 draft picks, 2 or 3 number ones, and a couple serviceable players. He does get Anthony Davis, what you call him, a second team All Pro. I'll ride with that. But is he that difference maker? Does him and Kyrie now? What's their ceiling? So you make this move. Now what did I say? They're in that 8th, 9th, 10th spot. Now what's their ceiling here? That's what I want to know. Dallas is 11th. They're 1 game behind Golden State. So again, if I didn't make it clear earlier, the Clippers, Minnesota Timberwolves, Sacramento Kings, Phoenix Suns, Golden State Warriors, Dallas Mavericks, and we'll throw in San Antonio Spurs for that matter, are all 4 games apart. There's a 4-game difference. The Clippers are at 22, the San Antonio was at 26. There's a 4-game difference. So Dallas right now is 25. Do they finish above playoff in that 6th spot, or do they finish in that 7 to 10?
Not quite sure. Health and chemistry will play a big part with regards to where they finish.
What do you mean health? Anthony Davis doesn't have to play center, obviously. Well, barring injury, he can go out at any time.
Yeah, as we said before, yeah, he has a history of.
But he's playing with the center. He doesn't have to play the center spot, so that should give him more mental comfort, if you will. He's playing with Kyrie, who's going to be able to get him the ball. Kyrie, do you think Kyrie takes a step forward and starts balling out, or how do you think this goes with Kyrie?
Kyrie's been balling out, but you heard already. What did he say? He's sad. He misses his hermano.
Yo, you said that like we about to see the worst of Kyrie.
I mean, in the corner with a blanket and a cup of tea, man. Kyrie, we gotta get on the plane, homie. Like, man, I'll catch the next one. You know how Kyrie gets down, man. Chemistry is a fragile thing, right? It's a delicate thing, right? So
yeah.
and I know Clay is like, wow, this is not why I came to Dallas. I would have went to LA if you guys were going to go the other way with it. You know, I would have signed with the Lakers, and now you trade AD for Luka. Now you got LeBron, Luka, and Clay. Oh. Yeah, so, you know, millionaire's chess game. Don't ever forget it. And when you do, something like this will happen, and you get a friendly reminder. No one is untouchable.
I mean, come on. There had to be something. I mean, we're going to hear about it in a couple of days. But not only did this blow the NBA to the back page, or the NFL, to the back page, which I'm still astonished. This never happens. But it sets up one of the league's kind of darling franchises for the next 10 years. And I don't know that Rob knows what he's doing over there. Rob took the phone call and was like, yeah, of course. But he lucked into this. And let's see what Rob does if he's able to put it
again, Cameron, the first call was to the Clippers organization for Kawhi Leonard and
that's all hearsay.
And Zubac.
That's hearsay.
They said, hell no, Kawhi is untouchable. We're not going to part with Kawhi for Luka Doncic. It's certainly not our almost all-star center who's going for, what was it? You said, Cameron, 24 and 10, 24 and 13, something like that.
Oh my goodness! I don't know how the league allowed this to happen.
And then it was really kind of another irony is that this comes off of LeBron going to New York, smashing the hell out of them, and then coming back to town after hearing all this news is his homeboy, Ace Boone Coon, got traded. Clutch Sports not having the control over the Laker franchise that they once had, and then he just goes out to the Tua Dome, the spaceship, and just smacks them all in their face without Anthony Davis.
The guys they're walking around in front of
Luka, and this is what we do here. This is what you're supposed to be a part of. Kind of breaking him in, so to speak.
Oh, you saw that, huh?
Oh, you saw it? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I know you had this game originally circled on your calendar as to why should the Clippers beat up on the Lakers? And then, oh wow, no such thing. Not even close.
The Lakers just got another gift, fans. Another gift. Can you guys believe it? Let's talk about De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs. Why didn't the Kings demand Castle?
Because they understood that was never going to be a part of the deal.
I'm sending you the best player. I needed to get another young player. Come on, what's going on here? They allowed the Spurs to keep Castle. I mean, they got a logjam. They need to be trading somebody. They're Castle, Fox,
Chris Paul.
Another
redundancy. So
somebody got to go.
Scenario. De'Aaron Fox comes there and balls out. So what does that leave for Stephen Castle to do? Because he's not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's kind of my point. There's a lot of redundancy there, but it's only going to be for this season. Chris Paul won't be coming back next year.
Okay, but you still have De'Aaron Fox and Castle both wanting to be the primary point guard.
Well, Castle going to have to sit back and relax. I mean, he hasn't shown he's worth. He tried to move De'Aaron
Fox.
He's
19 years old. I didn't mean this year. But I mean,
Yeah,
for how long?
a couple of years. I mean, until you're ready. You can
Okay.
he can
So
still get some time.
what if it's 2 years from now? De'Aaron Fox is not going to be ready to sit down.
No, okay. That another reason I'm surprised the Kings didn't demand Castle, because it shouldn't have been that. It wouldn't have been that. I don't think it'd have been that tough for the Spurs, knowing that you're getting an all-star point guard. To it wouldn't have been all that much to pry Castle away from the Spurs.
No, because that's where negotiations start, Cameron. I mean, look at it from a GM's perspective. Okay, we'll talk about it, but just to let you know, Castle's not on the table. So talk around that talking point.
Well, they got done. They should have. They gave them 5 picks, but still, I would have wanted a player versus.
Well, of course you would have, Cameron, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, versus a couple picks, a couple players and a pick. Yeah. Give me a couple picks and a player. That's what I would have taken.
You got Zach LaVine on the back end, so
No, the Kings got Zach LaVine.
I know.
How do you think that's gonna work?
3-team trade, right? So you got Zach LaVine on the back end. You weren't going to get Castle. You already understood that. So you got Zach LaVine on the back end.
I mean, they still traded away the best player. They should have tried to get something from both squads.
All right, man. Stop crying. Stop crying about your Kings, man. All right.
Zach LaVine to the Kings. Did that move the needle?
No.
Zach LaVine teaming back up with your boy
DeMar DeRozan.
And
then it's got Valanciunas. So up front, they're kind of nice. Valanciunas
so this is Chicago West then, huh? This was the AC to Chicago.
They got Valanciunas from the Wizards. So.
But where was Valanciunas? He wasn't on that team. The Bulls had a center.
Vucevic is on the Bulls. Valanciunas moved from New Orleans
it was Vucevic.
Washington, and then got traded to Sacramento. So up front, they got Valanciunas and Sabonis. You know,
I mean, they finally got somebody bigger than Sabonis. Does this move the needle for the Kings? So Anthony Davis moved the needle for the Mavericks.
Gives them a foundation. They have 2 years to kind of try and find a few other pieces to put around, and we'll see what they can do.
Does De'Aaron Fox move the needle for the Spurs?
Maybe. They looked really, really good for the first 3 quarters against Atlanta, and then they kind of for the first half, and they gave up 43 in the third quarter and almost lost the game. So, but that was just the first game. And he looked good out there, though.
Look at you trying to give De'Aaron. It hurts to give De'Aaron Fox some credit, don't it?
Not really.
He abused your boy.
You got the point guard Yoda over there and Chris Paul teaching both of these cats at the same time. Yeah. He's going to leave San Antonio a better place than when he arrived, for sure.
Well, was that a shot at Mike Brown or Chris Doug Christie? Who was that a shot at?
No, I said Chris Paul is going to leave San Antonio.
I heard what you said. I'm saying, who was that a shot at? Was that a shot at Mike Brown, the former head coach, or Doug Christie, the current coach of the Sacramento Kings?
I will say this again. Chris Paul being a point guard Yoda and having De'Aaron Fox and Castle to give tutelage to knowledge, he will leave the franchise better than when he arrived. You'll have 2 point guards that have Chris Paul.
That's not like you were taking shots at me. Mention, say his name. Say somebody's name, whoever you're talking about.
You tried to bring up coaches for no apparent reason whatsoever. I'm talking about a player who's, I don't call him a Hall of Famer, but quite a few people do. Some people even say he's like top 10 greatest point guard ever, whatever. But he at least knows how to teach point guards how to be point guards. And now he's got 2 incredible ones under his wing. So they'll be better for that, if nothing else. But no, it's not a shot at Mike Brown. It's not a shot at
That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a shot at Mike Brown. Kuzma, AJ Johnson, and pick swaps go to the Bucks. Middleton to the Wizards. Oh boy. We see what happens when you don't produce.
Yeah.
But Kuzma goes to the Bucks. Can Kuzma fill that role, that scoring role?
We shall see. We shall see.
Oh, you have your doubts.
Yeah.
If nothing else, Kuzma has been able to consistently score in the NBA.
He's down to 15 points a game. Perhaps his morale was, kind of squashed being on a 6-40 team. That happens.
That's what I'm saying.
And there is no Pacific Ocean to kind of, drown your sorrows in. So, yeah, maybe this, fresh shot of adrenaline playing with, Giannis and, Dame Dollar can, help out.
You have your doubts, huh?
But I have my doubts, yeah.
Yeah, so that doesn't move the needle for you.
No, that puts him, very much in the Eastern Conference final conversation for me.
But I mean, if they get good play out of him, they might actually do some things.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're fifth. Now they get a consistent score. I can see them moving up a spot or two, catching the Pacers. 5 games behind the Knicks.
Yeah, the Pacers are in front of them. What are you talking about?
The Pacers are in front of them. The Bucks are fifth. The Pacers are fourth. They're 1 game behind them.
And who's in three? And who's in the third spot? Oh, the Knicks. Okay.
Yeah, the Knicks. Yeah, they're led by Jalen Brunson. Have you heard about him?
Yeah.
Have you heard of that kid?
Great player, lots of heart.
Yeah, that you disrespect every chance you get.
I do not disrespect Mr. Brunson.
Yeah, the Knicks are, and then Boston is 2. Cleveland is 41-10 right now. They're winning 80% of their games, dude. They're winning 80% of their games. Like, that's bananas. Oklahoma City is 39-9 though.
Wait, I'm so sorry. So Cleveland is in the number 1 spot, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Why? Why? What point were you making?
Yeah, that looks a whole lot better for Milwaukee getting to the Western Conference or the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, because Cleveland's number 1?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, if Boston's sitting up there at number 1, then you want to avoid them at all costs. But Cleveland not really afraid to engage with them second round.
41-10, and you want to still talk about they can't get it done?
No, they can't get it done.
The Heat trade Butler to Golden State. They get Wiggins, Schroeder, and Kyle Anderson.
And an unprotected first round pick. I'm sorry, a protected first round pick.
Did this move the needle for the Warriors?
No, man. Like we just said that. They may make the playoffs. Probably not. If they do, they're going to lose in the first round.
What about the Heat? The Heat are next year. We'll see you next year.
Oh, all that cash they're about to clear out.
There was talks of Kevin Durant going back to Golden State. Did you want to see that?
I did. He didn't want to go back.
Yeah, he said, "Nah, screw that. I'm good."
Mm-hmm. That's the same mentality he had when he left, right?
Yeah, he don't need them, and he don't really need them. But if you just want to play easy basketball,
what do you think? He doesn't really need him. What has he accomplished outside of Golden State?
Oh, here you go. So he needed to go somewhere else to get your respect.
No, he decided that on his own. He already had my respect going to Golden State and winning back-to-back NBA Finals MVPs. He's the one that didn't like the fact that he wasn't getting all of the credit for the victories and the success, and wanted to go somewhere and be the guy. And 3 teams later, he still is not that.
He's not the guy, or he hasn't had the same success. Which is it?
It's both.
But he could say he hasn't had the same success because he don't have the same type of players. That's what he could say. And is it him that's supposed to?
But that's not what he said. He said that he was pontificating that the reason that they were winning all those is because of him and not Steph and Clay and Draymond. And so, because no one believed that, he wanted to go out on his own and do it on his own. Went to Brooklyn, didn't work out there. Decided he wanted to go somewhere else in Phoenix. He might not even make the playoffs.
Yeah,
would have been to go back to Golden State, but he already feels like a certain way about it because when he goes there, they don't give him, credit he feels he deserves for getting them.
I think there would be a different appreciation had he went back. But it is what it is.
Yeah.
This just what are you looking forward to moving forward this season? What is top of mind? Is it Fox and Wemby? Is it Kyrie and Davis at Union? Is it Valanciunas and Zach LaVine? What are you looking forward to for the rating forward to most post All-Star break?
Man, it's LNL. You already know that. The whole world wants to see.
The whole world wants to see what?
LNL.
Who is that?
That's lean back Luka and LeBron in Los Angeles.
Oh, boo! The whole world don't want to see that.
Yeah, they do.
They do the same thing, man. It's a redundant over there.
We don't.
It's going to be your turn, my turn.
Cameron, we don't know how it's going to look.
We already do. We know you know better than that. You said it at the top of the show. They do the same things. They can LeBron play off the ball? He hasn't his whole career. Can he play off the ball? Can Luka play off the ball? We know he's going to be standing at the 3-point line. Look at those finals games. He's going to be standing at the 3-point line, mad because he ain't taking a shot. Can he play off the ball? This is going to be a whole. I'm telling you, if this blow up in Rob Pelinka's face, I wonder what you guys are gonna say then. Then it's gonna be Jeannie's fault.
Oh no, we're okay, man. We're okay over here. Thanks for asking. And after going to the spaceship yesterday and blowing that thing up, yeah, we clearly
nobody knows what you're talking about. There's no spaceship.
Let me clear. Going to the Intuit Dome, the $5 billion facility that Steve Ballmer built, and beating the hell out of the Los Angeles Clippers without Anthony Davis. It was well for the future. Anyway.
Yeah, the guy's heads wasn't in the game. What can I say?
I wonder why. That's weird. And your guy Kawhi played.
So who gets the most movement from these trades? From these trades movement?
Who gets the most movement?
Yeah. From all this trade moving around, who got the best of the deal? You don't tell me the Lakers because you guys get 4 years to grade your pick or grade your move, 4 or 5 years.
I think of all the moves that were made, Sacramento improved the most.
Sacramento?
I do.
With Valanciunas and Zach LaVine?
Yeah, that's huge.
You think that it was better than De'Aaron Fox to the Spurs?
I think so because they already had point guards. It too, actually. I mean, obviously, De'Aaron Fox is an upgrade from both of those guys.
Right.
But at the same time, I mean, they were already kind of doing their thing. Does he get them into the playoffs? Quite possibly. But, I mean, I think moving or getting LaVine and Valanciunas keeps Sacramento in the playoffs.
Man, I heard you say that. I heard you say that, and the fans are gonna hold you to that. They're number 8 seed. You think getting Zach and Valanciunas is gonna keep them in number 8 seed? The fans heard you speaking, Cleveland. The fans are also eager, Cleveland, to hear what you got to say about Super Bowl 28. Is right here upon us. We're in Super Bowl week right now. Um, all the excitement.
We're like 59, right? 58,
What
59.
I say? What did I say?
You said 28.
No, I did say 28. No, I meant 59. We're on a 59.
59. Okay.
Um, I'm gonna ask you this first. I asked you this for the last 6 weeks, but I'm gonna ask you this first again to see if there's been any growth in any has anything sunk in that we've been watching for what you've been watching over the last 17 weeks. Do you believe the Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat yet?
I was in that I was in that mindset, but then I just been talking to some people and thinking about it, and I just don't see how they beat the Eagles.
Whoa, you don't see how they beat the Eagles? Okay, we're gonna
But
get to
at the same time, like you're saying, this is 2-time reigning Super Bowl champions, and they just find a way to win when they're not, they're not supposed to, or when you don't think they will. It's not always about style points; they just win games. So that's what's got everyone nervous. I mean, Vegas is even nervous.
Are the Eagles DBs ready for Mahomes?
No.
I mean, you saw that hit the young boy Cooper DeJean. You saw that hit he put on the Derek the Monster Henry, right?
What are you saying?
You saw that hit Cooper DeJean put on Derrick Henry earlier in the season, where he squared him up and he did the proper form tackle and everything, brought him down. You saw that play, right?
I mean, I don't understand. I don't know.
You try to act like you didn't see that play by Cooper DeJean. I'm sorry. You trying to understand the relevance of what I said? The boy has grown up, is what I'm saying. The point I'm making, he's grown up. He's grown up in to becoming a Super Bowl worthy cornerback. Him and the other guy. So now they got a different cornerbacks than they had a couple weeks ago or a couple seasons ago when they lost to the Chiefs. But they played a very good game. If not for a misplay here or there, they're in position to win that game. So I asked that question because they got two young guys who have seemingly stepped up. Because the Eagles, I want to say lead the league in defense. I want to say lead the league in scoring defense. I want to say that. Don't quote me on that. They're in the top 3 anyway, and that's a large part because of these rookie cornerbacks. Are these guys ready? Is what I'm asking.
They're not ready for Mahomes per se, but they're ready to be formidable. They're not going to be the reason that they win or lose the game, I don't think.
Will the Chiefs be able to run the ball against Jalen Carter? You got Jalen Carter wrecking the whole party.
Yeah, he wrecks every party. He's a dude that you're always, you're in the basement with the 40 and you're like, oh man, here comes that dude. Yeah. He's that guy.
Does it sound like you got him in the MVP conversation?
Nope. Saquon Barkley will be the MVP of this game.
My next question. Who's going to be the difference maker? You don't think Chris Jones, Trent McDuffie, you don't think Nate? What am I? I'm blowing his name. I'm blowing his name. Oh, it's not Coleman. Boltman. You don't think their linebackers can handle the Saquon?
No,
You don't think Chris Jones? You forget about Chris Jones who's out there?
nope, I haven't forgotten about him.
You don't think he's going to have anything to do with the results on Sunday?
He certainly will, but he won't contribute enough to, in my opinion, stop the Philadelphia Eagles from running over them.
Running over them. Interesting. Um, is this game going to show? Um, is it going to be a strong running game or a strong passing game that's going to be the difference in this game?
Strong running game from the Philadelphia Eagles will be the difference in if they win or lose.
So if they don't have a strong running game, they're going to lose, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. When you think about the teams that were closest to the 3-peat, so obviously you had to have back-to-back champions I'm talking about in the NFL era, Super Bowl era. Can you name the teams that broke up the consecutive Super Bowl streak by the previous team? And I'm not talking about the team like that knocked them out of the playoffs. I'm talking about the team that won the Super Bowl that year. To clarify, you understand the question?
Sort of. So the Pittsburgh Steelers won 2.
Yeah. But who knocked them out? Who knocked them out? Who beat them so they didn't win 3?
I think it was the either the Broncos or the Raiders that did that one the first time. And then the second time, I think it was the second time may have been the Dolphins.
So the first time it happened, the Green Bay Packers had a chance to repeat Super Bowl 1 and 2. They lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Miami Dolphins, who had back-to-back Super Bowls and an undefeated year career in there as well, they were upended by the Steelers. Those Pittsburgh Steelers you mentioned, it was the Raiders the first time. And in 1978 and 79, the Steelers won again, but it was the Raiders who knocked them out again, who ended up winning the Super Bowl following their run. You had the Giants, you had the Cowboys, the Broncos, the Patriots, and now we have the Chiefs. Can you name who knocked the 49ers off of who broke their Super Bowl streak?
Giants.
What about the Cowboys? Who broke their streak?
49ers.
Redskins, actually.
No.
It was the Niners in '94. You're right. Excuse me. You're right. Let me fix my score sheet. The Redskins won right before they did. Kind of why I don't fault the Buffalo Bills, man. They played some very good teams, man. Very good teams. Denver Broncos.
Denver Broncos. Don't remember.
The greatest show on turf. 1 in 99. 1 in 9.
No. Because so the Patriots then
beat the Rams or the No. It was the Broncos. The Broncos won in 97, 98. The Rams won in 99. The Patriots won in 2000.
But who did the Rams beat?
They beat the Patriots, I think.
No, because the Patriots actually, now that we're talking about it, the Patriots are the ones that started it by beating the Rams. So who would the Rams be to win the Super Bowl?
Oh, the Titans.
Okay.
Tennessee Titans.
So the Tennessee Titans are the ones that stopped the Broncos. Okay.
No, how do you get Tennessee Titans? They didn't win it though.
I guess. Okay. So we'll go with the
You don't want to give the Rams no credit for winning.
We'll go with the Rams. Keep going. So what was the other one?
And the Patriots, 2003, 2004, who won it in that 2005 season?
That's the Saints year, right?
No, that was the Steelers one that year. The Steelers.
Over my Seahawks. Got it.
Who gains to win the who gains the most with the Super Bowl win? Saquon, Mahomes, Hurts, Devontae Smith.
Patrick Mahomes gains the most.
Patrick Mahomes gains the most?
Yeah.
I mean, how much more can that cup fill up over? Runneth over.
He was the only quarterback in NFL history to win 3 consecutive Super Bowls. And you see it. You see how hard that is to do. So the chances of doing that again are very, very slim.
I'm gonna come back to that question. But somebody said, who said? I don't remember who said it. But they said that the New England Patriots were the hardest team, were the best of all those teams that we mentioned that had back-to-back championships. Do you agree with that?
No.
We did a little. We did a what was it? What did we do? We did a bracket a few years ago, and determined if Jerry Jones did not fire Jimmy Johnson, they legitimately could have won 4 in a row. Legitimately. So what the Chiefs are doing is impressive. I mean, they didn't win it. He did fire Jerry. Jerry Jones did fire Jimmy. They came back and won a third one. Just to tell you, when they got their head on right, they had a kind of a mediocre season. Did
not have a mediocre season. They got to the NFC Championship game the year after that, and then the year after that, they won the Super Bowl.
It was not so their season wasn't mediocre. I mean, they got to the NFC Championship game because they had the more talent.
They were the Dallas Cowboys. So what do you mean mediocre? What is?
What was their record? Man, they're goofing off.
Who cares? They got to the NFC Championship and lost to Deion Sanders and the 49ers. How's that mediocre?
Was it the season that they had the year prior when they're just rolling through?
They were 1 game short of their goal, and then the next year they won the Super Bowl.
Why did they win the Super Bowl?
Because they stopped listening to Barry Switzer, and they collectively said, we want to get back to who we are, and they won the Super Bowl.
Oh, because they lost who they were. They took a step back that season.
Man, I'm not even gonna entertain where you're going. It's so weird.
No, I mean, come on. You're trying to say that they had.
And I can't follow you wherever you're going. It's weird.
I mean, you're already there. you already agreed.
No, I'm not.
We already agreed
I'm totally disagreeing with you.
What are you disagreeing with? What is it that
it was a mediocre season? They got to the NFC Championship game. How's that mediocre?
Because they did not perform like they did
because
the year
they didn't
before.
win the Super Bowl?
Because they didn't perform like they did the year before. Exactly. That has something to do with it. They didn't perform up to their standards.
Win the Super Bowl and get to the NFC Championship, that doesn't make you mediocre.
I didn't make they had a mediocre year.
Mediocre is if you don't make the playoffs at all. You're 8-8, and you're sitting on the sidelines wondering what could have been. You get to the NFC Championship, and you lose to a team that got Deion Sanders in the offseason. It's far from mediocre. So I don't understand where you're going with it, but we can go somewhere else.
I mean, I don't think either player on that team would say they lived up to or performed up to standards, regardless if they made the NFC championship or not. Most of those players would say they didn't play up to their standards. Most of them would, honestly. So that makes it a mediocre year. Um, how did the Eagles? How did the Eagles win this game?
They run the ball effectively, which makes everything easier for everyone else, including Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have to read defenses quite so intently. A lot of those play action passes, a lot of those QB draws work a lot better when Saquon is tearing off 15, 20-yard runs.
So anyway, Jalen Hurts win the MVP, or is going to be because of Saquon that Jalen Hurts does anything good in this game?
Correct.
How did the Chiefs win this game?
Mahomes to Kelsey.
Just stay consistent. What about DeAndre Hopkins? What about Juju Smith or Juju? Juju. What about Juju? What about who's the other receiver they had?
Xavier Worthy, Hollywood Brown. No, they're
Hollywood Brown. Who I was thinking about?
It's going to be Mahomes to Kelsey.
You don't think Jones could take on the Eagles centers? You don't think Chris Jones could take advantage of the Eagles centers and stop that run game?
No.
Well, it sounds like you got this to be like a 24-7 game.
No, I got it to be in a close game. It could be either way, but I don't think Chris Jones is going to be the reason that the Kansas City Chiefs win.
What the prop bets? Who do you got your money on? Let the people know. I got the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat in Cleveland. You can tell the people. You can corroborate my story. I had the Chiefs three-peating since the beginning of the season, since the season started, essentially. And here we are now. I've asked Cleveland each day the last 8 weeks, does he believe that the Chiefs will three-peat yet? And I got him to say we'll see one week. Other than that, he's still like shaking his head no. Cleveland, he already said earlier in the show he's not sure yet. Cleveland, do you think the Kansas City Chiefs will three-peat yet?
I don't think that they will, but I'm not willing to bet on it, and neither is Vegas.
Oh, okay. Tell me some things you're willing to bet on. Are you betting that the first touchdown scorer will be Dallas Goedert? Dallas Goedert? If you are, that's plus $2,000, Cleveland.
Yeah, prop bets, I haven't looked into them too much. I like to wait till I get a little bit closer to the game and kind of see where the yardage moves on those type of prop bets. So I haven't really taken a whole lot of time and interest into that.
Well, listen to these I'm going to give you here. Plus 135, anytime touchdown from Kareem Hunt. 135. Would you put plus 135? Would you put something down on that? Basically, Kareem Hunt scoring a touchdown anytime in this game.
If I had a good bankroll, I would do that. No, I wouldn't put my last dollar on that.
The coin toss, tails is plus 100.
I'll do coin toss. Sorry, that's probability.
So he has to flip it 10 times before you can make a pick on the 11th time?
What I'm saying is I'm not going to put money on you flipping a heads or tails coin.
National anthem length. Do you do the length of the national anthem?
I do not.
Kendrick Lamar first song. Any idea what it might be? Plus 600 if you know. Would you put something down on that?
No.
Drake appearing at the halftime show. Plus $3,500. Would you put something down on Drake appearing during the halftime show?
Oh yeah, I'll put that.
You think he's gonna show up?
No.
You think he's gonna be there?
I don't think he will.
How many points will be scored in this game? Do you go on higher or lower than 49.5? Well, you got this a close game.
I would take the over probably.
Yeah, definitely take the over. Definitely take the over. Which quarterback will throw for the first touchdown pass?
Patrick Mahomes.
Any non-quarterback to throw a touchdown pass?
No.
Will or none? Those are my prop bets that I'm looking into for this week coming up. Gonna be an interesting week, Cleveland. Did I get your picks? Did I get your picks for this week here? Let the people know, so I'll know, so I can input them. I'm going with the Chiefs. Who are you going with?
Yeah, I'll go with the Chiefs too.
Oh, listen to you. You'll go with the Chiefs too. All that talk, I thought you were going with your guys.
No,
Saquon.
again, the conventional wisdom, if I'm really looking at it, I don't see how the Chiefs will win. But at the same time, it's hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes, which makes it so much easier to pick to say the Eagles, because the only reason that you're saying, oh wow, Irv Gotti died. That's crazy.
Irv Gotti died?
Yeah. The only reason that you're saying that the Chiefs are going to win is because of Patrick Mahomes. But if you look at the two teams and you put them side by side, you would pick the Eagles.
So you're going with KC?
But I'm going with KC because, you got to ride it out.
I mean, why aren't you riding out? What you call it? Saquon.
He's not a two-time Super Bowl champion.
Look at
back
you.
to back. Actually, Mahomes is actually a three-time Super Bowl champion. So.
Yeah, cut it out. So you want to see history, or are you just trying to predict this was going to happen?
Yeah, I would love to see history. Get it in. But what I've been seeing from Saquon getting to that second level seems like it would be awfully hard to do.
No, I mean, they're gonna get to Saquon. They're gonna stop that. I don't think they're gonna force Hurts to beat him. Now, if Hurts can hit a couple big bombs to number 11, AJ Brown down the sideline, and hit Smith over the middle a couple times, that's gonna open up the run game. That's gonna really open it up for Saquon. But if he's not able to do that, they're gonna be all over Saquon, in my opinion. I would play that type of defense. I would stop the run and then let them, not let them, but focus more on the run than the pass. Because I don't want to get. I don't want that ball to get going. Saquon, I don't want that ball to get going. And then they start running RPOs, and then Jalen start feeling nice and loose, and then he'll just drop it over somebody's head. I don't want to see none of that. So I'm stopping that run right now and force Jalen. Now, Jalen, if you could go drop back and hit us, by all means, we'll tip our cap when the game's over. But that's not quite what I'm anticipating. You know what I mean? How do you see the game going? Is it just all Saquon, or Saquon can run the Eagles win the game?
Let's try this again. Saquon Barkley being the home run hitter, I think he's going to hit a few home runs, and the fact that they have to defend against that opens up the play action, opens up the throw to Goddard, opens up the QB draw, and it makes the game very simple for Jalen Hurts. He doesn't have to do too much. He doesn't have to do too much thinking out there, and all of his options are going to be open. So that's kind of how I see it playing itself out.
Okay. Well, fans, after last week, this is how this thing kind of played itself out. If you guys can see this, This is our score chart for the season. We look at our picks for the season, fans. We've been making this pick all year. Well, this is our confidence picks. Let me scroll up here and get our picks for the year right here. Let me span that out right here. So for the year, our picks against the spread, Cleveland won with 59.6%. I stunk at 56%. Um, our total picks combination of our picks, 73% accuracy by your man Cam. And that's a 65, a mere 65. Like that's like Mortalsville down there at 65. Like get your game up, Cleveland. And for the season, now I try to tabulate this, fans. If you remember, those of you who follow the show, I try to tabulate this at the end of the season. So no, we have to count playoffs. Well, had we did this at the end of the season, Cleveland had a slight advantage. But you see what uh, expertise, knowledge, and wisdom does when you allow it to fester. This is me right here, 78% to Cleveland, 76% on the season. And these are confidence picks. The next year, Cleveland, we're gonna have a different format to go off. But what do you think about my win again, my domination in this category?
Hey, great job, man. Domination being that you won by one game. That's incredible.
78%. I mean, that's a lot higher than 76%, isn't it?
It's actually not. It's actually one game. Yeah, had I won the Washington game, the Washington Philadelphia game, and you lost the Philadelphia Washington game, then I would have won. So it came down to one game. Good job.
Oh, that's how you're trying to minimize your losses.
Well, I mean, didn't you start the segment out with had we stopped it at the beginning of the season, I would have won, but we continued it through, and you won by one game.
Well, that's a win. That's a win is a win.
I'm not a math major, Cameron, but I'm just saying. I mean, it's by no means a runaway. You won by one game.
It looks like a runaway.
I know.
It appears to be a runaway.
Actually, do the math and actually look at it, and then you realize it came down to one game.
And who was on top with that one game?
That was you.
Oh, okay.
And I say congratulations to you for winning that one game.
Fans, let's take a look at kind of our predictions from the beginning of the season. Before the season starts is when I recorded these. Cleveland, you may remember the Chiefs. We both had the Chiefs winning the Western, the AFC West. We disagreed. I had the Bengals winning the division, and they did not make the playoffs. We both agreed the Texans would win their division. I had the Bills winning their division, AFC West. You had the Giants, or excuse me, the Jets. What happened to those Jets?
They didn't play well.
I forgot. We both agreed that the 49ers would win their division, and they fell off. They fell off specially. And who won? The Rams ended up winning that division, right?
Correct. Yes.
We both agreed the Eagles would win their division. We had Packers and Lions winning that division. You were right. The Lions won the division, won the whole NFC, actually. But that's as far as they would get. And we both had the Falcons winning their division. And what did the Buccaneers win that division?
Yes.
So Eric had the Cowboys versus the Niners in the Super Bowl, right? Boots had the Cowboys going to the Super Bowl. I think he had the Cowboys and the Niners as well. For the Final Four, I had for the 49ers, Eagles. Eagles made it. Packers and Lions. The Lions made it. So that's half right. 49ers, Bears, Lions, and Eagles. So you were half right, but your picks, the Bears, bro. You remember that? You remember making that pick?
Yeah, the Bears and the Texans in the Super Bowl.
And you admitted that. I didn't think you was going to admit that. The Final Four, or here, do you guys see how our projections for the awards, the season awards, that we'll know within the next couple of days who won the MVP? Now, I had Patrick Mahomes winning another MVP, but it's also Josh Allen. And this guy has C-Mac. That's who you picked last year, right? Rookie of the year. Look at this. Who do I have, Cleo? What did that say? Can you read that?
It says Jaden Daniels.
Ooh, look at that boy. And you picked Caleb Williams. And I mean, maybe next week I can get my rib dinner. I don't know. Offensive player of the year, I had Patrick Mahomes in the AFC, and he had C-Mac in the NFC. I had T.J. Watt. That probably gonna be Myles Garrett, and then you have Myles Garrett already. So congratulations on you. Eberflus. Eberflus didn't even finish the season.
Did not.
Did Andy Reid? I think that should be Kevin Connell from Minnesota Vikings. But what do you think about Myles Garrett requesting a trade?
Tired of losing. He's not going anywhere.
They're not gonna trade him.
No.
I mean, would you shop him, see what you can get for him?
No.
You wouldn't even shop him?
I mean, if they're being, humane and they're being loyal, then for sure. But that franchise is in shambles. Why would you trade the only asset that you have?
Because they want other assets. I mean, to try to get something. If they can't get one of these top quarterbacks, maybe patch it up by free agency or something. Because that quarterback is holding them back. Deshaun Watson is that contract is, like kryptonite to their neck. They just can't move. It's tough. People, on each and every week, man, we do our player numbers game at the beginning of the show, but we give a review kind of things past from our history lesson, and I call it This Week in History. February 3rd, 1943, Cleveland, Percival Prattis becomes the first African-American news correspondent allowed in the United States House and the Senate Press Gallery. February 5th, 1958, Clifton R. Wharton Sr. Was the first black Foreign Service officer of the United States Department of State. February 5th, 1994, Ku Klux Klan member Byron De La Beckwith is convicted of the 1963 murder of civil rights leader Medgar Evers. That 30 years later. February 8th, 1944, Harry S. McAlpin was the first African American journalist admitted into the White House press conference. Bernard Harris, Bernard Harris becomes first African American to walk in space, February 9th, 1995. February 1, 2008, Lakers get another gift. Pau Gasol gifted to the Lakers from Memphis. What was that? Another stimulus package by the NBA? Or you gonna call that good GMing by Jeannie Buss? No, that was Jerry at that time.
It was two billionaires making a deal, making a trade.
No, listen to you. 2012, February 4th, Linsanity began after New York Knicks Jeremy Lin scored 25 points against the New Jersey Nets. I mean, was that a 2 weeks of barrage of BS or what? What was your thoughts on Linsanity?
No, he was doing the damn thing, especially when he hit that game winner in Toronto. It really took off. It was a thing, but I was always it turned off the way he handled it. Like he didn't really like embrace it, and then when it was gone, then he was all sad it was gone. It was like, well, why didn't you embrace it when it was happening?
Yeah, because that was a little crazy 2 week time. Anything else like that? Anything else hit the world like Michael Vick experience was it was cool for a couple years. But Linsanity just was a meteor, shot straight up. Anything else? What do you remember that was like Linsanity? Like you get the Icky Woods shuffle going on for a couple weeks after they win the Super Bowl, or they didn't even win the Super Bowl. A couple weeks after the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah, and again, like you said, it's not like the Knicks went to the playoffs or anything, or they were just really, really good, and it was like like the biggest show in town everywhere he went, overshadowing like legitimate superstars. So you very rarely see that happen. Can't think of another time.
February 4th, 2008. Randall L became the first receiver to throw a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl. Who did he throw that touchdown pass against and to?
Hines Ward against the Seahawks.
I don't know if you was going to answer that question. Cleveland, this past weekend, man, did you see Benavidez versus Morale? Did you see it?
Oh, I'm assuming Benavidez won.
Benavidez won and went the distance.
And he won on the cards. What a surprise!
It wasn't really close, though. Stephen Fulton took Brandon Figueroa's featherweight belt that night. Pitbull Cruz lost. He got beat up. Over the weekend, I think it was Friday night, Clarissa Shields defended her heavyweight title in Flint against Danielle Perkins. Do you watch? Are you familiar with Clarissa Shields? Do you watch women's boxing?
I am familiar with her. I don't watch a lot of women's boxing. Mostly MMA at this point, or UFC, to say.
Dennis Baranchek fights Keyshawn Davis for Baranchek's WBO lightweight title on February 14th. That's a Friday. Are you interested in watching that fight on?
Yeah, on Valentine's Day? No, not really. Probably have other stuff I'm going to be doing, so probably miss that fight.
The other stuff you're going to rather be doing?
Yeah, I'm probably going to miss that fight, being that it's Valentine's Day.
Undisputed lightweight heavyweight rematch between Arturo Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol is on February 22nd in Saudi Arabia. On this fight card is actually Daniel Dubois and Joseph Parker for Dubois' IBF heavyweight title. We even get Virgil Ortiz Jr. versus Ismail Madrimov fighting for the vacant WBC junior middleweight title. Are you interested in this fight card?
No, the fix is in. Not interested.
Fans, I don't know. I just gave this man 6 banging fights right here, and he said he's not interested in none of them. None of them. Let me try this, fans. Let me try to see how this works. On February 1st, or excuse me, on March 1st, Gervonta Tank Davis fights Lamont Rose Jr. for Tank Davis's WBA lightweight title. Are you interested in that one?
Pretty sure Tank Davis is gonna win that fight.
Will you watch the fight?
I mean, maybe. Is it on ESPN?
No, he fights with. It's a pay-per-view.
Oh, they want me to pay for it. Okay, well then no.
It's on the next week. You see it on what is Amazon.
Okay, I'll see it the next week on Amazon. Maybe I don't need to see it live.
Junto Nagatani fights David Squaller for Nagatani's bantamweight title on the 24th of February. Interested in that fight?
I'm kind of interested in that one. I've been hearing a little bit about that dude. I'll watch that one. I'm not gonna pay for it.
If it comes on TBS,
yeah,
or TNT,
yeah,
or TNT, you watch it there.
Or if I'm somewhere and they're feeling generous and want to pay-per-view it, sure, yeah.
Man, we didn't get to this last week, but what do you think about Hal Brenner when it came out that the Dodgers are signing Roki? Hal Brenner talking about it's difficult for other owners to keep up. What do you think? What did I say? Hal Brenner, Hal Steinbrenner, yeah.
Well, yeah, it is.
I mean, but Hal Steinbrenner, when all his policies used to do was just go out and buy free agents.
Yeah, but he never had a superstar defer $500 million for 10 years.
So he wasn't a good salesperson?
No, the Yankees are still the standard. I mean, the Yankees is the ultimate in sports psychology. We'll give you as much money as you want, but you have to come over here and produce like you've been producing. And most of the time it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. Right now, the Dodgers have the upper hand on that. And Steinbrenners are one of those organizations that this is what they do. They don't do anything outside of this. And so the amount of money that they can spend, I don't want to say it's limited, because by no means with the Yes Network and all of the other revenue streams that the New York Yankees have, are they by any means broke, but the Dodgers are the big bank right now.
Yeah, they appear to be, but I still can't believe that Steinbrenner fixed his mouth to say something like that.
Just goes to show you how big their bank must be if Hal Steinbrenner is saying it, right?
Well, yeah, we knew that. We knew that right off the top. But yeah, it's crazy. Have there been any off-season baseball moves that surprised you? Like we got pitchers going here, pitchers
Juan
going here.
Juan Soto not staying with the Yankees was surprising.
That was it? I mean, nothing bigger than that just because he was a Yankee guy?
Yeah, I mean, he was the heir apparent to the Yankee throne and decided that the Mets looked more attractive, which is weird because they're not. So
that was a money grab in your opinion?
Absolutely, it was short-sighted. Yeah.
I mean, well, did somebody confuse him with the brightest bulb in the shed?
No, I mean, this number bigger than this number, I get that, but I mean, 28-2 as far as World Series championships and as far as actual valuation of the franchise, I think the Yankees are worth at least $2 billion more than the Mets. I mean,
I think he just wanted to cash out, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I mean, what for $75 million more? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, what can you use 75 more mil?
You absolutely can, but it certainly could be made up on the back end being a Yankee adverse being a Met.
I mean, I don't know. Really? Can it?
Really? He's a Yankee as opposed to being a Met. It's like being a Knick as opposed to being a Net. It's like being a Laker as opposed to being a Clipper.
Oh, here you go. See? You always do a little bit too much, man. Just a little bit too much. Yeah. Well, fans, I want to thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. It is February 5th, 2025. And again, we want to thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. Give your man Cleveland a shout out. Cleveland, where can they find you on social media?
At Clevie Wonder on Twitter and TikTok, and Cleavon still on Instagram.
And you can, you got any comments, complaints, concerns about the show? Hit us up at underscore or at underscore Voice of the Fans on Twitter, at underscore Voice of the Fans on Twitter, at underscore Voice of the Fans on Twitter. If you got any comments, complaints about the Voice of the Fans podcast, please hit that subscribe, hit that like button. Let the people know where you're tuning into. From Cleveland, well, before we let you go, it is Super Bowl Sunday coming this Sunday. What are you looking for when you walk into the house of the Super Bowl party? Like, if you're going somewhere, what are you looking for? Are you looking for the food? Are you looking for the best view of the TV? We already established you don't know your surround sound. I don't understand how some of you guys watch the game without surround sound, but Cleveland doesn't need it. What is it that you're looking for when you walk into somebody's house on Super Bowl Sunday?
Food, drink, and if all possible, the high ground.
The high ground?
Yeah.
Wait, or you think they're going to be a flood or something?
No, like for example, if like it's a split level and like you go down a few stairs and then it's like couches and tables.
Okay, got you.
I'd prefer to be on the high ground in that.
Okay, got you. All right, I feel you. Kind of keep your view as opposed to people moving around and getting in front of you. You kind of keep your view. I got you. So, Cleveland, does the size of the TV matter? Like, if surround sound doesn't bother you, would you come watch my 19-inch boob TV?
In today's time and place, I prefer 65 and above.
You prefer? So are you inquiring about what the size of the TV?
I have a pretty good idea of typically the location I'm going to that it will be that.
Okay. And good food?
Cross my fingers. I mean, I asked kind of like what the what the menu may be, and everyone always says they're doing this or that, and there are always the the staples. They'll have some wings, they'll have some chips, they'll have some nachos, they'll have some dip, and you kind of go from there.
Is it food mandatory though? I mean,
some food is mandatory. Like a huge spread smorgasbord, not necessarily. No, I'm not really there to to get full or kind of like.
That's what I'm saying. Like the game's a couple hours. Like,
yeah.
I mean, you can go, if you're really that hungry, you can go get some pizza afterwards. Here in the West Coast, there's still plenty of fans. I'm telling you about this time difference. After the games go off on the West Coast, there's like another day before you have to go, before it's bedtime, and then you have to get ready for work in the morning. It's different. It's not like at Central Time. The game goes off. It's around 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's time to go. Here in the West, there's like another day. The day just continues. Like I have to get used to that expectation that there's just all this time left in the day. You know what I'm talking about, Cleveland?
Yeah, it'll be 7:30, 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, so I can go out to a whole nother dinner after the game versus it being bedtime. That takes some getting used to. So Cleveland, tell the people who you put your money on for this game.
If the spread goes up to 2, I will take the Eagles. If not, I will not be touching this one.
You're waiting for the spread. So what happened to your little fancy teases? You can't buy in and tease it up to 2 or 3?
No.
Oh, they're not buying that garbage during the Super Bowl time, huh?
There's only one game left, so I mean, you can't parlay one game. There's only two things that can happen. It can be the over under or the actual point spread. If there was an additional thing, then for sure I would take the Eagles +8 for sure. Yeah, I would have done that. No question.
You can't wrap that up with the coin toss and the Gatorade splash, the color of the Gatorade. You can't.
Maybe if I go out to Tulalip, I know you can't do that at Emerald Queen Casino, which is where I typically go out in Tacoma. But that's a good idea, Cameron. Let me check that out if I can do that.
All right, fans. Once again, thank you guys for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. This is your man Cam. Let's give Cleveland a shout out for returning. Please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Let us know where you're tuning in from, how you're watching the show, how you're observing the show. And then, as always, fans, I want to thank you for making our voice your choice.